Hey, what's up, Henry?
Doing alright. How you doing?
Just plugging away. Work week. Gotta get organized a bit. Alright, so this one is the top. Hey, Scott. Don't have any more. Hey, Raccoon. Hey, Raz. How's everything? There. Yeah. All right. Where are we at now? Two years in the fridge, that works. As long as it's still, as long as you can still mix it up and everything, that's good. That sucks, Raz. Seems I've talked to a couple other people that have been printing. Seems they have had some issues with fails too with stuff, but I guess it's just wasting. Oh, yeah, whenever, I think what it is it's shipping, Raccoon, with these items. Because even, I got the Rodger in from Raz, and when I pulled it out of because he wrapped it up in a lot of good bubble wrap, it was tacky. And I think that's because of the bubble wrap within, like the box. But after I left it in the garage for, like, what, 4 or 5 days, it's, like, it's not tacky anymore. So, I think it's just a matter of, like, I think the plastic reacts to this stuff a little bit, you know? Plus, the weather, I don't know, it's kind of, we're kind of like ending summer, going into fall, but it's still got a little humidity. So, I think it's the bubble wrap that does it. Yeah, that's what I did too with a lot of the other 3D prints. I just like leave it out on the garage, just at the end of the garage in the sunlight. And then after that, they're fine. I think it's the bubble wrap. That's why I hate wrapping anything in bubble wrap if I send it out to people. I always use this foam stuff because at least it's got a little bit of air that goes through it. So I actually got to order more of that now that I think of it. That's my last little batch. But yeah, so Rodger came in. I didn't have a time to really kind of go through it all, but I did sort of Dremel out the bottom, and I took out the supports because I'm going to fill this in with freeform air now, because I don't have any more resin. But I think if I could just put enough freeform in there, it'll be fine. But I think it's a good height. I think it works pretty good with Jessica and him. I think the height looks pretty good. And then he printed a gun, so we have to sort of figure out which hand to put the gun in. I'm probably going to have to tweak this handle because I think that's going to break. Might have to go in this hand. I don't know, I'll have to we'll figure it out. So let's fill this in and then we'll go over what I did with the Jessicas. This way, get this over and done with the free form. Some of this freeform is going to expand, so I think as long as we get enough to fill in most of the body. I didn't get the bases completely done yet. Slowly getting there. So I really want to try to get the bases set up so we can line them up on those. I'm mixing this over to garbage can because this stuff likes to kind of break apart sometimes. But good news is I finished the Jean Grey, but I'll post her up next week. Still gotta just go over her one more time. And I got my little clear fishbowl for a Visible Woman. I'll show you guys that next. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it's all I could find. Yeah, he's going to look pretty good. I think this is going to be a nice one. I just have to... Well, we got a long road ahead of her with these, so these are not going to get done anytime soon, but... This was a good sculpt that'll fit. I kind of measured them on the base, and they look like they're going to work on the base pretty well together. I think if we made him a little bit bigger, he wouldn't really be on the base too clean. But I think we got a good, good setup now. Yeah, it's funny. The Gene sculpt was one of those sculpts that just flowed perfectly. Like every once in a while, I'll get an item where it just works and I don't have any troubles. But I've been working on that Thor kit in the garage this week, and it's one of those items where the cape completely threw me for a loop, and I'm still not fixed the cape yet because it's you'll see it in the video, but the Thor kit turned out to be one of those items where it was going fine until I got to the cape and it became a nightmare. So it's always the capes. It's always the cape that just causes issues. And I wish people would start engineering the capes correctly. But I'll get it. One way or the other, I'll get it. This is gonna expand. Well, I'll leave him like on the side. Maybe by the time it's done expanded, it might be like right at the bottom. We'll see. Yeah, it's the capes are always an issue. I mean, you saw how big that Thor is. It's got, you know, it's like such a big cape, and there's only 2 prongs going over the shoulder to hold up this huge cape. It's a horrible design. Horrible design. So, and I can't just paint it for somebody and say, oh yeah, you're done painting it, and then they put it together and it breaks on them like a day later, you know? You just can't do that. So, like, I don't mind capes, but you have to, like, when you engineer a cape, like all those Magneto kits I've done in the past, people put these 2 little prongs, and then they have this huge cape. Like, what you need to do is you need to cut out the torso, you know, like, or the collarbones and necks. That all has to be connected to the cape, and then the head connects to that. You know, you need to have one head, the cape with, like, the collarbone, and then down. That's how you should design a kit. And then you should put rods in it too, of course, but nobody, the factories are not going to put rods in them, so. Alright. Anyway, we'll see. Alright, so I filled this in. I had to plug up the drain holes that were on him. So we're gonna, this is probably going to expand, so you see how it's in there now? We'll kind of see how it kind of, because I put water in there, it might expand out. Because there's no other places for it to go, so it's going to probably expand this way. So remember kind of where it's at, and we'll look at it in the next, 15, 20 minutes. That is true, but I just wish kits would be engineered a little bit better, that's all. That's still in camera, so we'll see how that expands. Get my hammer and close this up. Alright, so I had some time to work on the Jessicas the other night and show you what I did and the tools I used so you guys have a little idea what's going on. Alright, so where's the cop? This is the cop. Alright, so you can see her chest. We made those lines last week, and then I sanded this down. I also did the same thing for Star Trek, and then I also did the same thing for the Nun. Now, it's extreme right now, but we're gonna kind of add the outfits and stuff, and it'll be toned down a little bit, but it's a start. What I did was, with those lines, I have this saw tool for my Dremel. You can see how it's kind of like a crazy saw. It's a good tool for your Dremel tool, but you gotta be very, very careful with this thing. So what I did was, we'll use this as an example, is I kind of held the Dremel, but I had it in a way where if it slid or it got caught, it didn't come back and like slice a finger. You got to be very careful with this tool, and you got to really hold your Dremel, because this sometimes can kick or get away from you. So you got to be very, very careful with this, because it will slice off, you know, a finger almost. So I think what I did is I had the figure on the table. I had my shop vac in front of it. So this way, if it kicked back, it not only did the shop vac like suck up the dust. If it kicked back, I would hit the shop vac instead of like my finger. So what I did is I jumbled this in there, and I cut a line. And then what I did is I used my sanding tool. So these are little sand wheels. This is a great tool, but you go through so many sand wheels real fast. You have to unscrew it and put it in. And then what I did is I sort of went in there with the tool, and I kind of just like grinded it out with that line. And then after that, I used sandpaper to sand it down. So that's kind of how I worked out this stuff. I find it's easier to do this way. So now when we like do the outfit, we can like lay down like you know, some wire, like a metal rod, and then we could layer A's around it. Same thing with the other two. I figured with Star Trek, it would be kind of easier to have it tight, and it kind of squeezes up a bit. She cut off her pinky with what? Like, whenever I use this tool here, like, even when I put it onto the Dremel tool, I do not put it with my fingers. I always hold it here, and I put it on and I lock it on the Dremel, because I'm always afraid if I accidentally kick on the Dremel and you have it here, it's going to cut up your finger. Like, this right here is no big deal, because, like, this is just sandpaper, and you could kind of just see I could just crush it. You know, it's like no big deal. It could still cut you, you know, but most of the time it rips off anyway, you know. But with this one, though, I'm very, very paranoid, so I always hold it from here, and I put it in my Dremel tool. Raccoon, what tool did she use, though? And just to show you guys, too, you unscrew this piece here, which I need to have a little bit more grip. You unscrew this here. Yeah, you gotta be careful not to lose this screw. So whenever this comes out, you take this little screw, take off the last of the sandpaper, try to turn it around. I ripped off, want to sand it down my fingernail a little bit. There we go. So what you do is you grab your next sand wheel. There's usually a little tiny hole in the front. You kind of pop that screw through it. These are a pain in the ass to keep replacing, because they break on you fairly fast, but it's still a great tool. And then you kind of just screw it back on. And then when it gets to the end, you just use your screwdriver. So it's a really great tool if you really want to grind something down and not like sit there and sand. You know, if you want to, like, say you got a chunk of resin you really want to take down, you could kind of use this and sort of, you still want to use it in front of a shop vac, but you can grind something down and then fine tune it. So it's a great tool. Just buy a bunch of sand wheels and get used to replacing them. Oh, a table saw. Yeah, that's my old shop teacher growing up in high school. He had I think he had like one tip of his finger gone and another half of his finger gone because he was a woodworker. So, but we're talking back in the day when, you know, you didn't have all those safety options. Hopefully she didn't do it on a live stream, because I think YouTube would kick her off, right? Or at least delete the video. Put this back in the garage. So that's just what I use to grind these down. Yeah, yes. I dremeled out my finger a week ago. There's also an old scar here from when I X-Acto blade mine. I got a scar here, and then I dremeled this out the other week. So, and then I sliced my finger here. So it's always something. Let's put the Rodger rabbits over here. Alright, and I also, for the nun, I used that tool, and you can see I chopped down the leg. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to kind of fill out the skin, like it's kind of being pushed out. What else did I do? So we're going to start up the boots on Star Trek, and I want to reline her outfit, what we're going to do with her. I use that it's like super glue. It's that that liquid bandage stuff now. Because it actually like has that antiseptic in it too. It's like super glue. So I use that all the time now. But I mean, if you got a really bad cut, then yeah, super glue is perfect. So you can see this is starting to expand out of there. And it's getting hot too, so it's getting hot to the hand. What I should do, I don't like using the best tool in the world, but I should take some of this out, throw it in here. No reason to waste it. I'm gonna put a rod in here too, and then it's gonna rod into the base, but and then if I have some extra eaves during a week, I can fill it in. Alright, let's see now. So, Gonna have to start planning out the arms, but I still want to work on legs. So what I think I should do is mix up some Aves. We'll work on the nun's legs, and then mix up enough where we can start working on the boots for her. The cop, we're gonna draw a little bit later. Make sure I get my lines correct. Alright, so one thing I wanted to ask too before we go any further, for the nun, should we do the, do we want to keep the underwear sort of like this, or do we want to go more the thong, which is better for her? And then would the thong be more of a thong back here like so, or would it be more like kind of bathing suit look? What do you guys think? Because I just want to make sure, because I figure once I get the legs done and I attach it, do I chop this up or do I leave it? Like, what are we thinking there? So far, more thong, I guess. Now, the thong in the back, does it go like to dental floss, or are we thinking a little bit, like, I don't know, what are you thinking of the back for her? When I say bathing suit, I mean, so this is how I always explain it to guys who like customers who I work for if we do stuff. Thong is kind of more, like kind of there, you know? It's kind of right there. Whereas like bathing suits are kind of more over this way, you know? And then of course, I guess you go granny panties or superhero outfits, like more there. So there's like basically 3 types, I always say to people. Which thong is fine if you want, if we think we should go with thong like that, or if you think we should go more there. I don't know. What do you guys think? Hey, what's up, Rukin? Yeah, you just popped in at the right time, I guess. You mean like the bottom of this one? We could do something like that, if that's kind of what you want to do. If that's kind of like what we're following in a sense. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do like the lace look, but it might be like just like a black thong, I guess. I don't know. We haven't gotten that far in a sense, but I'm just trying to know what we want to do before I start chopping and sanding any of that area. I hate chopping it up and then realizing, oh crap, we could have utilized this part or something, you know. I personally don't like this type of look. I'm not really a fan of it going this way to the hip. I always like it going up over the hip. But I just kind of, I'm not sure what other people like. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the saves, go in the garage and roll it out a bit and flatten it for the Star Trek boots, but we'll let it harden up a bit while I work on these thighs. This way it'll be a little easier. So I think I need probably half of this. And then I'll roll it out, cut it, leave 2 strips there, and then I'll take the rest back. So I'll be right back. Alright, so we'll start working on these thighs a bit. I think once I sort of add, like, you know, make it thicker, the reason why I cut it out, it's always easier to add eaves and sand eaves down than it is to try to perfectly grind out the skin and all that stuff. It's just better to, because this resin is pretty strong with sanding, so just better to put eaves there. This is hot as hell right now because this freeform It's not going to expand anymore. It's done expanding, but it's pretty hot to the touch. Like, you could almost burn yourself, actually. Not really burn yourself, not like a first-degree burn, but like getting a really hot cup of coffee, it feels like, you know, like really scalding hot coffee. But it's not doing any softness to the resin, which is good. So at least now he's not hollow, but it's not heavy as all hell. Hey, what's up, Art Studio? How's it going? Alright, so let's... No, so far I haven't had any damages or anything. Like I said, I think the only problem is it just gets tacky because of the bubble wrap. But other than that... Oh, what's up, Chris? It's been a while. How is everything? I didn't realize that was your other account. Yeah, they were just reference stuff, Henry. It's just stuff I found on DeviantArt. So... I'm hanging in there, you know, just taking one day at a time, trying to catch up on work. It's been a while since we talked, Chris. How is our work going pretty good for you? I know it's with the economy and stuff, I know a lot of people have slowed down on everything, so it's gotten kind of tough out there in a way. Oh, okay. Well, that's understandable. It's a tough everything's tough these days. It's always a pain in the ass to find that sweet spot, you know, of what works for you and what people are into. I mean, your work is amazing, so... Well, if I ever hit the lottery, Chris, I could put you on retainer. But then again, I gotta play the lottery first. So I always tell my friends, if I hit the lottery, I would never spend money on like cars or houses. I'd just be like commissioning people to do artwork for me. Comic book stuff, and that'd be it. Yeah, I see no point in getting like cars or houses. Just commission all kinds of artists just to do stuff for me and have a huge portfolio. Although I would need a bigger house though to put everything on the walls, but that's easy. This is This is going to require some sanding, but that's alright. At least it'll look like it's squeezed a bit. Crap. Let's see if I can... So on a side note, have you guys been watching all that Star Wars drama on YouTube? I swear I don't watch movies and shows anymore, so I just watch YouTube, and a lot of friggin' drama with Disney and all this other stuff. Oh, so you don't know Raccoon? Yeah, so there's a YouTube channel called Star Wars Theory. I've actually subbed to it for a while, and I've watched a lot of it. And it's basically about Star Wars and stuff. Really nice guy. He it's like his like passion and stuff and all that. So anyway, I guess there's some Star Wars shield channels that get like kickbacks from Disney and get to go to you know, like pre-screens and get early copies and all that stuff. So supposedly they went after him, his channel, because he was on some talk shows they didn't like or whatever. So I guess Disney is part of it, and it's like they were calling him all kinds of names, and they wanted to demonetize him, and it's a really big thing going on. So now everybody knows who the shills are for Disney, and it's become a big thing on the internet. Yeah, it's like the guy Star Wars Theory did a fan-made film with like Darth Vader. It's really freaking good. You guys should check it out. And supposedly, I guess like the higher-ups in Disney don't really like that because he made a better show than for free than what they've been putting out. But it's kind of crazy that the shills were going after his livelihood because he didn't like the Acolyte, I guess, or something. So it's pretty crazy what's going on. It's like you can't even have an opinion on anything. Yeah, Star Wars Explained supposedly did it. Yeah, so, and I guess they were like, oh, if we get rid of his channel, we'll get all his subs or something, you know? I don't know I'm still kind of getting a lot of the details, but it's pretty kind of shitty what's going on. Like, just because you're a big YouTube channel and you didn't like a TV show, doesn't mean you have to go after them. It's always something, man. It's crazy what's going on. It's like, you know, these corporations and Disney, like, you can't say anything bad about their product now, and if you do, you're a bad person. Yeah, with part of Geeks and Gamers and all this other stuff and everything. But that girl, Chrissy Marr, did a live stream with Star Wars Theory, and I watched it. He's a really down-to-earth guy. He's just a fan, you know? Just like, he's just a huge fan. He grew up on Star Wars, and he just shared his thoughts, but I guess the powers that be did not like that. And I guess because he's not a shill, and he spoke his mind, that was a problem. So, hey, what's up, Iceman? Yep, so that's kind of a part of this week's drama. There's a lot of other stuff going on with the video game companies. We'll talk about that in a second too, I guess, but the Star Wars stuff is, see, now I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. You know, I don't like live and breathe Star Wars, but I do, you know, you kind of respect another fan who made a YouTube channel that talks about his, you know, his passion for it. And he's not shilling for anything, but it seems that that's a problem now. I don't know. Yeah, the whole Agatha thing now, that's another story. But I don't know if you guys heard about that Concord video game. It's like the first game in history that came out and like got shut down like, what, a week later or 2 days later because it was complete trash. And now if you said you didn't like the game, you're you know, you're an istophobe, you're this, you're that, you're this, and it's just one thing after another now. Well, that's the funny thing, Terrell. From what he talked about on his live stream, or from what I heard, is that they would never hire him because he's just a fan who did something better than what they did. and all the fans like his version better. So that goes against their narrative that, you know, oh, they know what George Lucas wants, blah, 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 which is, honestly, I always said it. I always said it the minute that George Lucas sold to Disney, it was going to die. And I always said that there would be a fan out there who could probably do a better job than a corporation. I always said, my cousin used to call me a hater, and he's like, oh, you're just a hater, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, a super fan who probably would do a better job than a corporation. Yeah, that was funny, Iceman. They did that too, and oh, and then what was it? Was it the Concord game? Some guy who's like in finance, he just does like video, like video game designs on the side or something. He redid all the player models, and the player models look absolutely amazing what he did, but all the media's attacked because it's the media that's attacking everybody. Yeah, Iceman. Me and my cousin, we always argue. But he's starting to wake up now to realize that everything is bad. Yeah, it's crazy. You know what it is? It's like, it's not the fans that are the problem. The fans are speaking their mind. It's the media and the gatekeepers that are causing all the problems. And when I say gatekeepers, it's like the video game medias and sites, and they're like, you know, because they're shills. They're getting back deals. They have the power to tell everybody this and that, and I think people are just getting fed up with it. People are just tired of all this crap now. And what is it? The one developer came out and said that, you know, said something about what was it, Space Marines or something, about how he wants to go back to making games like what they used to be instead of the agenda, and the media's lost their minds over that now. Yeah, I heard of that movie too, Raz. I just think people are tired of it. I mean, you know, you can cry all you want about this stuff, but if the product isn't making any money and the people are rejecting it, that's the problem, right? So, why get mad at the people if they're rejecting the product? Yeah, that's the problem, is everybody just wants good stuff. But, you know, they just keep doing what they want to do. So I always tell people, you vote with your wallet. I don't know, it seems like this week, while I've been working, there has been like one thing after another this week on YouTube. And honestly, I'm surprised I've actually been able to keep up on all, because I've just been playing videos and listening to while I work. And it's just crazy how much drama is going on. And I think it's just more people are just tired of everything. I know that's not perfect, but I'll sand this down and clean it up. Put this. I don't want this to fall. I'm gonna go put this in a vice grip inside real quick. I'll grab it later. Stuff doesn't harden on me. You've been watching a lot of painting stuff, Iceman? Yeah, you need to get into some of the drama stuff, man. You can't just focus on paintwork all the time. Come on, man. Get with the times. Yeah, I've been, you can see a lot of these images up here are AI, and I know people get mad, but it's just with some good reference art to use, so. But, yeah, AI's taking over. Drama's not a waste. Well, let's put it this way. I am into the drama stuff of the stuff I love, because I like comic books, I like video games, and, you know, I like, you know, that type of stuff. But the problem is all that drama has infiltrated my hobby, you know? It's just, I just want to be able to go back to, like, back in the day where you could pick up a game or you could pick up a comic book and read it. And if you didn't like it, you stop reading it. Or you don't buy it anymore. You know what I'm saying? But now, if they make an item and you don't like it, you're a bad person. So I think it's the generation of everybody is a trophy winner. So if you don't like their product, they get mad. I don't know what's going on. You know? More lawsuits? Like in what? Well, there's a lawsuit now with CBCS and PSA. Because the guys who worked at CBCS for comic book rating are going to PSA, but they supposedly took intellectual property rights. And then CGC put out it's like everything is just going crazy now. It's unreal. Yeah, once, I know, oh, so there's a lot of AI lawsuits, but yeah, AI is coming up and fast. It's, you know, I look at all the AI artwork out there and, you know, they're pumping out 30 images a day and stuff. It's crazy. Well, I hate to say it to you, Iceman, but once AI is at the point where I can type in a prompt and make up my own movie, I'm going to be happy. I'm tired of all these actors and these corporations telling me I'm a bad person because I didn't watch their movie or buy their product. So, Iceman's gonna blacklist me soon. If you do that, Iceman, let me know. What I'll do is I'll kick you out of chat, and then we can make you a t-shirt. I was banned from Vince Vale Customs. You'll be the first one to get the t-shirt. Yeah, you know, the writers too. I don't know. They just gotta make good stuff again. That's all. Just, you know, I'd support the product if you just make some good damn stuff. Yeah, Iceman will be my detractor. For anybody that knows what a detractor is. That would be a DSP reference for whoever knows who DSP is. Yeah, Phil once probably knows who that is. There you go. We should get Iceman to go down that rabbit hole. Well, your dark helmet sculpts are looking good, so you should be happy about that. Yeah, see, I'm sort of with Rukin. While AI art is cool, and I'm not saying it's the worst in the world. It's another tool, but I still love traditional art. You know, I'm always gonna love traditional. Like if honestly, if I had the money, I would be commissioning traditional artists like crazy. But traditional art is expensive, but it's still amazing. I think it's when I went to Terrificon a month or so ago. They had that one guy who's has a lot of traditional comic book artwork and pages, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I want that, I want that. But when I looked at the prices, I was like, yeah, I can't afford it. But the art, I still love traditional. You know, always will. That's why I wish video games would go back to traditional sprites. You know, like the old Street Fighter stuff where they would draw each position. I love that stuff. I say one day we're gonna find out who's the top AI artist in the world, and it's gonna be Iceman. He's probably practicing now, but he's not saying nothing. Don't let him fool you guys. He probably goes under like 30 different like names, different styles. There you go, Raccoon knows, yeah. Yeah, we're on the ice, man. We got you. Well, they came out with some new AI engines, and I'm actually seeing like hands are getting better on them. And I think that's what Hollywood's kind of scared about. I think all the Hollywood people are starting to realize their days are numbered. So I think that's also another thing that's going on. Nah, we're not having Skynet. I think all those internet memes of all the, you know, what we thought we were going to get, but it's all just like porn stuff from AI. I don't think we'll ever get Skynet in a sense where they're going to drop bombs. It's just going to be AI girlfriends and OnlyFan type stuff, and that's it. So I don't think we need to worry about Skynet. I think the robots will be like, yeah, we don't need to drop bombs. We just need to make a couple AI girlfriends, and we'll control the world that way. Who? Who do you follow? I'll have to look at that, Rukin. I don't know who that is. How many statues have I done? Oh, well, I don't know. I started in, let's see, in art school, I started with Spawn figures. And then when I got a full-time job, I started buying Bowen stuff, and the Bowen stuff was what, around 2003, and I think around 2004 or 5 is when I started customizing. So a lot, a hell of a lot. Alright, you guys got me curious to who the hell this Nura Sama? Why won't it let me you guys got me you piqued my interest. What is this? Let me see if this loads. Oh, I know who that is. Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, I got you. Alright, I've seen that on some of the videos and stuff I watch. Okay, I know what you guys are talking about now. I will look into a little bit more, but I know who you, I know the, once I saw the YouTube character, I was like, okay, now I know. Nah, they're not numbered. We're just going in a different direction. That's all it is. I'll still be working on statues and then go waiting on the line for bread, like, and that'll be it. I'm alright with that. Even if I gotta use mud to work on statues, I'll do it. Alright, Rukin, I'll check it out. I'll have to go down that rabbit hole, Rukin. If it's stuff I can actually listen to and not actually look at it, I could play that stuff on while I work. Nah, there's no retirement for our age group. We're gonna be working to the day we croak. I accepted that a long time ago. What is it, like Social Security's like pretty much gone by now? The only thing that's not going to be replaced in automation in your lifetime is stuff like electrical, plumbing, stuff like that. Otherwise, all those desk jobs are all going to be replaced. Nah, I don't think the job market will crash that bad. I think people just going to have to shift their focus. That's why I always tell young people now, if you want to make money and have a secured future, learn a trade. Going to school learning liberal studies is not going to net you a good job. I heard about that, Raccoon. I heard about that. It goes to show you nobody gives a crap anymore. Well, alright, Raccoon, you do me a favor. If I'm ever streaming one day and I'm laying down at the desk and I'm not moving, call 911 for me, alright? That's probably what's going to happen with me. Funko Pops? Yeah, you can retire on Funko Pops and Beanie Babies. Alright, Raccoon said she promised, so make sure, guys. You know what's funny too, that we're talking about plates now? I have all my mother's plates. She had a whole collection of like fancy plates she would use for when like company came over. Rarely use them. I think she bought them years ago. Probably used them maybe 10 times in all these years. We're talking like 30 years or so. Maybe even 20 years, I forget. And I went on eBay and they're not worth anything. And I asked people if they want them. And nobody, like, it's like the new generation of like women or, you know, like households, they don't want fancy plates anymore for like company. So I got all these plates I gotta get rid of. I got like 5 boxes of these things. So I'm just gonna probably donate them to the vets or something. Customize a Funko on stream? Why put that energy into a Funko? They're not selling anymore. I go to the comic book store that's 2 towns over, and he has thousands of Funkos, and nobody wants them anymore. So, I don't know. Yeah, see, Raccoon, that's the same thing for me. I live on plastic cups, or I just like reuse like plastic bottles I use to drink and stuff. And when my friends come over, I don't even have a kitchen table set up. I haven't built one yet. We just stand and eat pizza. So nobody does that stuff anymore. Yeah, the Funko Pops died. Wasn't there a story where the company that produces Funko Pops, they had to destroy like 30 million Funkos or 20 million or something of them because they were just like collecting dust and nobody wanted them? So no, we don't eat on the floor. We stand on the we stand around the kitchen counter and we just eat by the stove and stuff. That's all. I have a table, but it's all piled up with boxes from my parents and stuff. It's one of those gray folding tables. But I have my parents' old kitchen table that I took the half of it. I'm gonna build a table, but I have to get everything out of the kitchen first. But yeah, it was like 100,000 of them or something went into a land, or I thought they destroyed them. Nobody was buying them. And I think what happened, well, also, I guess since like Star Wars is kind of like now, all their merchandise isn't selling like it used to. Like the comic books are tanking in price, the Funko props are tanking in price. So sadly, a lot of these collector items have to do with like, you know, the movies, the shows, and stuff like that. So I remember too back at, well, this is what I always tell people. If you have an item and it's worth a shitload of money, sell it while you can. Unless it's a really old valuable, like maybe an old X-Men comic book, that's kind of a different thing. But like when Beanie Babies were so expensive, sell that shit off. It's never going to be worth that much down the line because it's so overproduced. Like my mother had two depression glasses. I don't know if you guys ever heard of depression glasses. So she had two of them, and they were worth a lot of money a couple years back. And I always said we should sell them. No, no, no. They were your grandmother's. Blah blah blah. So we kept them, but now they're not worth anything. Nobody wants them because I explained this to my friend. Our generation, we're kind of into like Transformers, GI Joe, Turtles, comic books, blah blah blah. My parents' generation, my aunts and uncles, they're kind of that greatest generation in baby boomers. They're all kind of getting older in retirement homes, so all their collectibles are not worth as much because nobody of the younger generation wants that stuff. So a lot of like those old Buck Rodger stuff, and it's kind of starting to go down in price because nobody's buying them. So that's why I always say, if you guys have a collection now that you can live without and it's worth money, sell it while you can. I sold off all those comic books I had and my Transformers and G.I. Joes during the lockdowns, and good lord, I made bank on that stuff. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to sell everything, Because growing up in the 90s, everything was way overproduced. So it's not like that stuff is rare. Yeah, the VHS stuff supposedly is making a comeback. So is DVDs, but I don't think it's as big as people are making it out to be. I think just maybe certain things. Yeah, that's a good idea too, Raccoon. I sold my N64, Dreamcast, and I think I sold those two, and I made good money off of them. I figured I really didn't want them anymore, and they were going for good money, so I got rid of those. I should probably. Oh yeah, I sold my NES too, my Nintendo as well. Yeah, these are going to. I'll sand these down, but it's going. I want to make it look like it's got that overspill. Same thing with the chest. But it's going to get sanded down and tweaked a bit, and then when I put the strap here, I'll probably kind of make it look like the strap is pushing it a little bit too. I have to tweak it a bit, but hey, what's up, Hangerbird? How's it going? Yeah, the goal with these Jessica Rabbits is to make her look like she's kind of being squeezed up a little bit. Yeah, it's been a while. We're still plugging away on stuff though. Well, she is a cartoon character, so she doesn't have to worry about being squeezed too much. me grab the other leg. I think what I'm going to have to do is push the legs together because that piece might squeeze. So I'll have to use some baby powder too. But let me grab the other one. See if they are going to touch, which I think they might. Yeah, they're going to touch. So I got to put some baby powder on these two. So this way when I squeeze them, it'll look like they work together. Yeah, I'm down for a replicator. Just hit a button and it just copies it, and then we're good to go. Alright, so kind of squeeze it a bit. So this way, if I let it dry and I didn't do that, I would run into issues. I mean, you still got to sand it down a bit and clean it up, but alright, hold on, I don't want to drop this. Let me. What did you say? Yeah, I'm sculpting a little bit bigger, and then it's easier to sand down afterwards. Sort of what I did with the chests. I'll kind of. Let me just put this on real quick, and we'll kind of show you what I did a little bit better on the other items. Yeah, so. Yeah, it'll be sanded down a bit. It'll be tweaked. You can see the back is kind of not perfect because I squeeze it in too far, but that'll get kind of seamed up and cleaned up more. But it's messy now, but that's the problem with having a separate piece. But it's a good start, so. So let's put this aside somewhere where it doesn't fall and get screwed up. I'll put this back on the vise. Alright, make it a nice mess. So, this is Star Trek, and then this is the cop. So when I went ahead and sculpted the chest, I sculpted the chest bigger than what I planned because it's easier to chop down than to keep trying to build up. So let me find the cop images. Right. I still didn't get the Star Trek images, damn it. I gotta set those up. So as you can see the chest. Let me grab the tools. I don't think you were here for the beginning part. So even the nun's chest. So you can see the nun's chest. So we made those marks last week on the chests, you know. So it's easier to chop that down and add to it. So this is a saw blade. And we kind of talked about this earlier in the stream. Very dangerous. Be very careful with a tool like this. But what I did is I used this saw and I sawed down that line. And then what I did is I used my sand tool and then I kind of just grinded it out. And then from there I sort of sanded it down and I did it. So this way, when we add the cop's outfit going across, it's already kind of really built for me where I could just layer it and I don't have to worry about trying to build this up and everything. So it kind of starts the whole, and this is the same thing with the Star Trek. When I add this piece around the Star Trek, it'll already look like it's squeezed up. So it's better to build it bigger and chop it down in this sense. So, and the same thing with the booty. So if I was to do an outfit with the underwear, it's better to kind of build it up a little bit and then I can sort of chop it down and sand it. That's kind of the plan and goal. Alright, let me see how my A's is, because I want to do Star Trek's boots. Wait, did I put a Star Trek picture of her? Yeah, I did. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna start up the boots. I was thinking, should we, for her boots, should we add like little simple wrinkles on the back and a little bit of wrinkle on the front? This A's is starting to get a little bit tougher. Little tiny wrinkles on the back, we could do that. So I figure once we get the boots together, I got to start planning out the arms, but then I can start attaching the legs and we can start getting them on the bases and kind of just keep plugging away on that. Alright, so we'll just add a little bit of wrinkles, but not much, I guess. Just basically around the back of the ankles and the front of the foot, I guess. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Now the way I plan to do the boots is sort of start up my area first, sand it down, and then work out a zipper later. I'm not going to try to force a zipper now. I did fill these in the other day just because I had some little extra A's. So this is fairly thick up top, but I'll sand this down. Because the boots shouldn't be that thick on her, but we wanted to have her have skinny ankles because she's supposed to have sort of skinny ankles, but this sculpt doesn't really have super skinny ankles, but it'll work. I was about to say, does her calf muscles touch? But no, they don't. Reason why I like to let the eaves harden up a bit when I do this on like a boot is because if it's really soft eaves and you try to pull it down, it kind of pulls the eaves with it sometimes. But doing it this way isn't going to make it a perfect seam either, so I got to use putty and sand it. You can see how kind of it's like really thick up top, but I'll sand it down. It's kind of just the way I work. But I think we could do the wrinkles once this sort of toughens up a bit. Go from there. I'm going to draw the cop next though. Give me some time to let this cure a bit. Alright, well, I guess while I'm working on this, the cop is not going to have her holding anything. Her cop is going to be on her hips with her hand, so I can start making, like, planning to magnetize the arms or whatever for her. For the nun and for Star Trek, we're going to try to definitely do a phaser, so I got to try to resculpt the arm in a different way, right? Is that what we're going to try to do? So I got to try to plan this out, because her arms would have to be attached. I mean, I could seam up around the shoulder, but I don't feel like cutting out the shoulders. I don't want to make more work than I have to. Okay, that doesn't touch if I put it on the side. That's good to know. Angry Bird? No, this is just Patreon voted characters that we all get to chime in on, and we just sculpt every Friday. And then When it's all said and done, if any of the Patreons want to purchase them, first come, first serve. If not, just goes up on eBay. So if you got some feedback while I ask questions, you're more than welcome to say, yeah, do this, or maybe that might look better, and just kind of brainstorm. Client stuff I really don't do on streams. Client stuff is more just focus on that, give them the best possible project, and not mess it up. That's why I don't really do a lot of projects of, you know, for commissions on streams. But stuff like this is just messing around on Fridays. Well, the idea I thought about was instead of a phaser, making like a carrot or like a carrot phaser. But since her arms are, I'll grab one of her arms. So the arms go onto her hip, like that, right? So for her, and also for the, not for the police officer, but for the nun, maybe tweak the arm a little bit, right? Just kind of tweak it forward, and then change the hand position to hold the phaser, you know? You know, and then this hand, though, for both of them, we'll probably leave on the hip. Like so. So not like, we're not going to like crazy rebend the arm and stuff because of the way her shoulder is, but we can sort of kind of like maybe just play with it and tweak it a little bit and kind of do something like that. It's kind of the idea. Do I play games? I have an iPad game. It's called, what is it? What the hell's the game I play on my iPad? I used to play, Future Fight on the iPad, but then, that game got too, boring and it's the same thing over and over. Mobile Legends Adventure I play on the iPad. That's kind of my, messing around at night type thing. But before video games went to crap, I played Street Fighter since the very first Street Fighter game. I love Street Fighter, but Street Fighter 5 and 6, I stopped because it was shit. I used to love games like Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, Bayonetta, but those games became like first-person games, and they just dumbed down everything, you know? Like, I think it was it Devil May Cry, where when you fought the boss, you had to hit X and Y at the specific time. It was no more learning combinations. So I really don't play games anymore. Yeah, Hanger, that's kind of the idea. So I'm thinking I'll reposition her a little bit, and instead of a phaser, more like a carrot. I would love to play the Zelda games, like get myself a Nintendo Switch, but I really don't have that time anymore. So yeah, I actually watched the playthroughs of the old Resident Evil remakes. I don't know, I think my days of playing video games are done. I really, I just don't have it in me anymore. I think if I was to really get back into playing games, I would probably just boot up the old PS2 and PS3 and play the old games again. I like the God of War games too, but I never I haven't had a console since PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I didn't buy the PS4 or PS5 or any of that. The games weren't interesting anymore. Yeah, I mean, I would play the emulators. I don't know. I don't know. Just don't have the love for video games like I used to growing up. I mean, you gotta understand I came from the generation of Commodore 60, 64, Atari, Nintendo, Neo Geo. I think I played enough games growing up as it is. I can't bring myself to get rid of the PS2 or PS3. Just those games I have for it, I just love it. And I also have the Nintendo 64. And actually, my cousin came down 2 months ago for a weekend, and we booted up the old WrestleMania 2000 game in the Nintendo 64. Oh, that game is a friggin' riot. I love that game. That's if you got some friends and you have get-togethers, get yourself a Nintendo 64 and WrestleMania 2000 and make up characters. It is such a bad graphic game, but the gameplay is so much fun. It's a riot. It's a great game. You just sit there and play the Royal Rumble. Oh, it's a hilarious game. Now, I tell you, man, if you talk to a lot of people who have played wrestling games from back in the day till now, even some younger guys I know, the clients I've done work for, they say that the Nintendo 64 WrestleMania 2000 is still one of the best wrestling games ever made. It's not complex enough where it's very hard to play, but it's not easy either. So it's just it's like, I think it was the perfect gameplay of a wrestling game. You know, you had to taunt to get your supers. You really couldn't tell if you were winded or not. You can make like comebacks, and there's lots of moves, but you can make up your own character. I still say it's the best wrestling game. When they started adding in all this like getting winded and all these extra stuff like sports game, that's when the wrestling games to me went to crap. I still say sometimes simple is better. A simple game that is fun, I think, will always blow out a game that's so complex that makes it stupid. ECW, which one though? Is some one of the newer ones? Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, like I think all we ever played was it's the TKO. Was that the company that made those WrestleMania games? I think it was called TKO. There you go, pro wrestling. Yup, Starman. That was the guy. Use Starman for everything. THQ, that's it. THQ. Yep. Yep, THQ was, I love those games. Alright, since we have A's that is starting to harden up, we can fill up these feet. Oh, they did? Oh, okay. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, their games were awesome. And the funny thing is, I'm not really even a wrestling fan. I mean, I grew up watching wrestling, but not like religiously. I had a high school friend that was a huge wrestling fan, but I liked wrestling during the DX, Degeneration X phase in the 2000s. But other than that, once they fell out, I stopped watching. Yeah, I think what was it? Probably around let's see. I think around I would say around 2016. I think video game companies started to I don't know, lose the just the hype or feel. I don't know. He did the DX. That's funny. That's hilarious. I mean, when DX was popular, everybody was doing that. You could see people do it in like sports games, going out to bars. I went to a couple of the Madison Square Garden events back when DX was big with like China and all them, and everybody did it. I think I'm gonna just throw some Bondo on the bottom and smooth this out, and then drill a hole. Yeah, you definitely did, Iceman. Wrestling was good back in the day. Now, eh. It's funny you mentioned bowling, Raccoon. My cousin was like, we should go bowling. I was like, I would love to go bowling again, but my shoulder wouldn't be able to handle it. But we used to go bowling all the time. Even in art school, there was a guy I worked with. He was a big bowler. He used to take me bowling all the time. I miss bowling. I would love to keep doing it again, but my shoulder just can't handle it anymore. The guy taught me to bowl with only 2 fingers, too. Like even if I was to bowl now, I couldn't use my thumb. But he taught me to bowl with 2 fingers and do a twist, like a spin. And that's how I used to bowl all the time. After he taught me that, I actually started getting good. Except down here though, growing up, all the bowling alleys closed down. I think the ones that are left now are like those night ones that, like, you know, it's got that neon stuff on. It's hard to see. So yeah, bowling is a blast. I mean, I wish they would bring it back. I mean, there's a lot of fun times going to bowling alleys and just trying to, you know, just bowl and mess around. I even had my own bowling ball there for a while. It wasn't an expensive one, but it was just something I got. Oh, the art, WrestleMania art, yeah, WWE Wrestling. That's almost like what Nintendo 64's WrestleMania 2000 was. It's sort of the same thing, but it's not as... It was just a little bit more tuned with gameplay, but it's sort of similar. Alright, let's start drawing up Jessica's cop outfit a little bit better. So this way we know where we're at. Yeah, but that WrestleMania arcade game was designed to keep plunking in quarters, though. It was definitely a nice gimmick game. Oh, a simulator is great because this way you don't have to worry about plunking in those quarters. But yeah, I think every arcade I went to had that game. I grew up in arcades too. That's one thing I grew up on. Even in high school, I would actually hit the arcade as much as, especially when I started to drive. I lived in arcades. Alright, let me find my cop picture bigger on my screen so I know what the hell I'm doing. If I can find out where I put them. Where are you? That's not it. My friend has a emulator arcade cabinet with like 50,000 games or 100,000 games or whatever it is. It is a really nice cabinet. He's got the marquee that goes up top. Whenever a game pops up, that marquee has the does the game up top too. It's got 4 people to play. And it's an awesome emulator thing. It was a custom cabinet. He ordered it from a place. It's amazing. It's got neon lights. He designed it after X-Men, so each. I did the artwork for his cabinet, for his characters. One of them is Cable, one of them's Nate Gray, one's Gambit, and I forgot the fourth one. Because we did like we did line work where each one, and then the color buttons are for that character. So it's a really awesome cabinet and stuff. The only downside with emulators is being into video games like I was. You can tell there's a lag with the buttons and joystick. So whenever you would hit a button, it'll sort of would lag on you. And I could tell because of the Street Fighter games, because I'm very like sensitive to like when you hit a button and then how long it takes for the punch to come out. So when I played emulators on his cabinet, you could tell the lag was there. But it's still fun to play. No, I never heard of that raccoon. Really? Where's he located at? Because when I went to PA to visit my college buddy 2 years ago, he brought me to a place in I think it was in York, PA, where you actually pay like for an hour, and they have all these arcade games in there, and you could just play them all you want. That was fun as hell. But there's another one that opened up in Lancaster, PA, which I think is at the Park City Mall. He brought it to me there. I didn't get a chance to play anything, but it's a huge, like it's where J.C. Penney's used to be, and it's just all arcade games, and you go in and you pay for like a card, and you could just play for like an hour. I tell you, man, if that arcade thing was there when I was in art school back in Lancaster, I would never go to class. Alright, I gotta open up my folder again. Yeah, the arcades here used to be in every mall, but since there's no more malls, and the malls that used to be here, the mall stopped. They closed all the arcades because they didn't like the element that brought to the mall. But then they got rid of kids going to the mall, so then the malls lost money. It was the dumbest thing in the world. Like, you basically killed a generation of kids that didn't want to go to the mall anymore. So that was the dumbest thing in the world that these businesses did. Well, Terrell, if you ever heard of what is it, what do they call it? The MAME generator, or the they took the X-Men vs Street Fighter game engine, and you can download sprites to that game, and they have like thousands of different characters now you can add into those MAME generators. So they've taken everything from the old Michael Jackson Nintendo game. They put him in there. Mugen, that's it, Mugen. That's what I was thinking of. Really, Raccoon? I'm gonna have to save that and check it out. Maybe that'll be something I take a trip out to when I get a little bit older. Before I kick the bucket. Put on like my bucket list. Let me save that. Let me write this down on a text edit. Alright, I saved it. Thank you, Raccoon. I'm gonna check that out when I get a chance. Well, I don't think I'll pass out, but I definitely would like to see it, you know, just to go out there and maybe check it out. During the Street Fighter 4 era, from like 2009 to about 2000 till the Street Fighter 5 came out, I would have loved to gone to like Japan and play in those arcade places with the Street Fighter 4 consoles. Those things were awesome. Wow, that sounds cool, Ed. Oh, you're talking about the classic arcade game. Yeah, no, I don't think and you can really do anything with that one, Terrell. But I think they didn't they remake that game though recently? Thought they did. Mortal Kombat? That was never complete. I never liked the Mortal Kombat games. I think it was more of the gameplay I didn't like. Alright, I'm drawing the skirt on the cop. So, should we have the skirt that far there on the booty, but should we have the skirt in the front show a little bit of underneath? Should it be higher? I'm actually kind of drawing a blank on this one. No, I didn't hear about that one, Iceman. So I'm thinking, should the skirt be up like that? So you kind of see a little bit. Or, because if you look at her straight, you won't see it, but if you, or should we go more like that? Something like that. So the line would probably be more here. I mean, of course, once I put it on, it'll will work. I'm just trying to see what we should do. I'll take that down. But then if it comes across, the booty. Probably more here. NBA Jam, yeah, that was a classic too. Should the slit be on here, or should the slit should be more here? Where should we do the slit? Up higher, or the slit here? Because if we do the line on her skirt, it should be coming down like there. No, I'm just thinking a slit on the skirt, you know? Just to kind of make, unless you guys think it should be just a tight skirt all around. What do you guys think? I just thought a slit would look cool, but if we follow this artwork a little bit, it's just a tight skirt all around. I don't know, what do you guys think? Slit, no slit? I don't know, just kind of toying with the idea. If you guys think it should be just a tight skirt, then we'd have more, it would be more taunt over here, you know? It'd be more taunt like that. Well, yeah, I mean, if you think maybe we shouldn't do the slit, that's fine. I thought it would just add a little extra, but if we do a nice tight skirt, you know, we could just do the line going here, you know. And then if that's the case, what we'll do is we'll add the belt on her. So the idea I was thinking of doing is we add a belt, right? Kind of throw a belt around here. And we kind of throw the belt this way, right? And then what we can do is we can add pouches, right? You know, a little bit of pouch here, maybe a pouch over there. I have the handcuffs, you know, we can add the handcuffs onto her as well. You know, kind of do a nice little animated belt type thing. You know. Kind of make it rounded. Alright, and then And then we can make it a tight skirt with wrinkles. And then, of course, the booty over. You think that's a good enough showing the booty? Less or more? I'm not sure how we should do the booty. Lost her job because of Playboy? Really? Nowadays she'd be cheered on if she did that, you know? How times have changed. Alright, so if we do the skirt, you think this is a good enough size for the skirt? I mean, it's kind of down with the hips, right? It's underneath the belly button. I'll kind of get a little bit more deeper hole into it. But as far as the booty goes, I mean, we can show booty, but how much do you guys think? You know, kind of where I have the line. Like, you think that's enough? Like that? Yeah, because that's kind of where the line is. So if we show the booty, do we do underwear like I did with the Jean Grey? If we do a thong, then all that would be painted would be the triangle that's underneath, you know? And then it would just be as far as I could get in here with a paintbrush. But do we give her somewhat of... Well, she's a police woman, so... Do we want to at least give her a little bit of underwear, I guess? Like more of the bathing suit underwear? Like that? If we do a thong, then there's nothing there, basically. You know? I don't know, what do you guys think on that? I think I gotta sand this down a little bit. I think there's a little bit of an error here. Or do we do... more, more like that? Is that too much or still more? See, a thong would work, but because she has a skirt, it's going to look like she's nude under there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to cross that line too much with it. Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry. Duh. This is the cop. I'm sorry. We're not doing a thong. Forget that. I'm getting mixed up. She's going to have stockings on. Stuff. Yeah, no thong, because we're doing the black line with the pantyhose. Like in the... Yeah, I'm sorry, we're not doing a thong. So this is going to have the black lines, and this is going to be the pantyhose. Yeah. That's what I was, I completely forgot about that. Ah, sorry about that. Yeah. So these are going to be pantyhose. Yeah, like I said, you know what it is? I'm working on 3 of them, so I'm getting kind of mixed up because I almost screwed up with filling up the cop's shoes the other day. So I think it was once I start getting them on the base and I kind of know which one I'm working on, it'll be better. So that's, yeah, alright. Because Raccoon last time said about those shoes, so we have to fill in the shoes for the nun. The back of the shoes, I mean. The way the heels are. Yeah, so, yeah, sorry about that. This is pantyhose. That's right. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. The pantyhose, I think, would look good on this. This way, it'll add a little bit more variation to her. So you'll see her, her skin, and then this will be the pantyhose, but we'll make them shiny. You know, like a little bit of that shininess to it. So I think it'll work good. So you figure pantyhose line come like right about there, and then down. Yeah, I think that'll make it look better with the pantyhose look to her. You know. She'll have that sexy look, but it won't be overly nude, I guess you can say. So, alright, so that works. So we'll put like a line there. We'll have a tight skirt. We'll have we'll do a little bit of an animated belt buckle, I guess, instead of like a traditional one. So if this is, and what we'll do is kind of like curve it like around. Something like that. And then for her holster, instead of a gun, we'll make a holster. We'll put a carrot in there. Now, as far as her shirt goes, we started, so this will be the line. Of course, I'll have to figure this out. What we'll do is we'll lay a, so, let me look at her shirt. What I'm thinking of doing is, I think I got this curve pretty good, but what I'll do is layer a thing of A's, right? Kind of going across here. Like, just cut out a strip, lay it across, so one side we'll have like buttons, right? I guess we'll do like the buttons, and then on this side we'll just have like little slits where the buttons would be, right? Like that. Let's get a rod. Alright, so should we do, since it looks tight, I guess with each of them, should we put the rods up there so it looks tight on them? Type thing. And then, should we do that here as well? I could sort of, like, angle it a little bit. But we can add the rods up like so. And then she'll have a collar. You know, we'll put the, you know, of course once we get to it we can play with the collar a little bit. We can make it a little exaggerated. And of course, once we add the shirt, we'll add wrinkles, you know, some simple wrinkles under there. I guess, so when we do the skirt, we'll add a rod going across for the skirt. So this way it'll make my life easier, you know, like that. And then I can sculpt on top of that like I normally do. This way it'll be easier to get that paint under there too as well. So I guess that's what we'll do for that. Right? And then we should probably do that for Star Trek as well. So we should probably do that for the Star Trek going across her chest there. And then a little bit right there. I mean, the Star Trek will have to kind of play with this a bit and over in here with her outfit. But I'm thinking, or should we just kind of keep this, I guess we'll kind of keep this a little bit of a circle. Maybe I'll just put A's over here when it hardens. And we'll kind of keep this circle, because I want to keep that circle from the Star Trek look. So instead of making it straight, we'll kind of, I got an idea. We'll have to just let the A's harden up one night. And then we'll put it over. And I'm just trying to plan all this out, trying to see what we got going. As far as the nun, let's see. So as far as the nun, let's get all these pictures back up. So, as I chop this up, you know, I went a little bit further than I normally would, like as you can see from the side. Because what I'm thinking of doing is for her, I gotta be careful I don't screw up the leg at all. I'm thinking we add piping, right? We gotta keep it animated. So what I do is, I don't know if the piping should be rounded. Yeah, I guess sort of rounded a little bit. So I guess what we'll do is we'll put some A's here, and we'll kind of try and keep it a little bit of a rounding piping. And then this way, it'll feel more like, you know, like how those Playboy bunny outfits are kind of up top a little bit, but not overly done. And then after that, we add piping coming from there to here. Like that. I gotta clean up the, well, I don't have to clean up the much of the back. Only problem I'm gonna run into is how I do the center piece here. But then after that's done, we're gonna add piping underneath here as well. Like a little bit of a piping piece underneath here that we talked about last time. I gotta definitely clean up the back of her. So kind of like that. Now with the nuns, there's not really like let me look at the bigger pictures. Trying to think here. Yeah, I'm looking at that one image there. Well, there's animated, right? So we don't have to get. We really don't need that super detail, right? I'm actually looking at that item, and her corset. I don't know, do you think, I got that image, I blew it up a little bit more. So the way this corset works actually is it's a point, but it actually curves this way. And this is like a little bit of an add-on, or do you think we should kind of keep it this design? This is like, this little triangle here is sort of like a felt, or like a... Trying to think if we should keep it like a normal corset, or do you guys like this kind of point thing here? Because if we kind of keep it normal, the way it works is this kind of... I'd have to fix the back of it once I get it done, but then the line... So if we go with a normal corset type thing, it would go up to there, or we have this type of design where the thong kind of a pain in the ass with this here, but I don't know, thinking maybe this little lip here might be better. Maybe that looks a little bit better to keep that. I mean, it is animated, right? Are you yelling at me, Raccoon? Or did you fall on your keyboard? Yeah, blame it on the cat. Yeah, we're gonna do straps, because the straps gotta connect to here. Raccoon started yelling at me, guys. Trying to think, maybe we could come up with a little bit of a different plan. Let's see. I'm trying to keep it animated but still work, I guess. Let's see. So if the garter belt is going to hit here, right? Well, I don't know. I'm thinking, I mean, there's a couple ways we could do it, but I'm trying to make it so it's animated, but it works. What's up, Jacob? Busy week. Quiet week. Hopefully yours was good. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what would work. Like, what do you think of something like that? But when we go to do the strap, just trying to arrange this. Let me find it. Trying to think. What we could do is take it up a notch, but we could grab a piece of metal and we could put the piece of metal going across, I'd have to find a thinner one. See, the only problem is if we do the thong, right? The thong is going to come up with the hip, I would assume, right? Let's get a little bit closer here. So if the thong comes up around the hip, do we want the thong to be under the corset, right? Or do we want... Because the way her thong came under the sideshow, it went up pretty high. Well, actually, it didn't really go up anywhere. They just kind of stopped it like here. So I'm thinking that wherever the thong goes, it goes underneath the corset. And then it comes out underneath of it over there. It's also got to be none working, I guess, so I don't want to make it too, I don't want to bring the corset all the way up here. I'm thinking below the belly button would kind of work. Lady Death? Let me see, let me look up some Lady Death stuff. Yeah, I know Lady Death has the garter belt. Of course, it's not showing me any pictures of her. Alright, yeah. I see what you're saying. Why don't they show the old artwork? Why is it all this new stuff? Is it offensive? Are you not allowed to see it? Are you kidding me? Alright, so that was useless search right there. Find this. Alright, I see what you're saying. I got it. Alright. Yeah, but that's connected to the, that's connected to the actual underwear, right? Oh, no, now I'm seeing it. I see what you're saying. Okay. So I'm thinking of connecting it to the corset, right? That's kind of where I'm thinking of connecting it. So if this is the corset, it'll be connected right here. That's what I'm thinking, you know? Because she doesn't really have a... Like, if you look at the artwork here, it's not really a garter belt. It's kind of more of a... It's kind of more of the corsets up higher. This one over here is kind of more connects to the bathing suit. So that's what I'm thinking. I mean... Or do we not do this point in the center? I don't know. Keep on throwing some feedback to me. Do we, do we want to go with, just go with it flat across? And then these pieces connect? And then this sort of has a U, or is that a little weird looking? Or do we do something more... Or we're kind of... curved. The sandpaper's not sanding it. Let me find this one works maybe. Yeah, so instead of straight, what if we curved it? Because this little line here is kind of what's going to give it that little, help that hourglass look. And then we can sort of connect it with that piece, right? Sort of line it up with this one. I mean, we can sort of maybe just kind of toying with it at the moment. If we kind of up a little bit more. No, because we gotta hide the underwear. So I'm thinking more of like a longer corset. You know how like some corsets kind of stop here, but the other ones kind of come down more. Let's kind of keep playing with it. Kind of this way the trying not to screw up the leg. So. Pull back a bit. Go back around, and then what this would do. Actually, you know what? I kind of like the back. Like it's designed when it comes back around like this. And then we pull this up over at an angle like that. And then this connects to the back one, and this connects to this back one. This way it gives us enough room to come under here with the thong. Right? Sorry, thong would be... Well, you get the idea. The thong would be more like in there. Right? Just trying to kind of think of like a flow that'll kind of work with this a little bit. I mean, these are just lines. Of course, you know, when we add it, we can add like clasps. You know, like a little clasp here or something type thing. We could even, I mean, we could. I don't know if this would look any good, or if its circle should be the way it should be. I don't know if, maybe the circle's probably better. Well, curved, I mean. What do you guys think of the back like that? It's kind of curved in front, but then it's kind of got those two prongs in the back, and then basically what we can do is we'll have one line in the back, and then we'll have this line curved to here. And then we can have this line sort of curved into this. I mean, we probably won't see much of the back. I mean, we will, but we won't, only because, you know, we got to do the white collar, and then we have to have the hair, and that collar piece is going to flow, but we can make it flow a little bit, and so it kind of has like a little wind to it, instead of just making it perfectly, you know, on her. You know, maybe we can kind of flow the hair a little bit too, because like I said, I think we're going to be re-sculpting the hair type stuff. I kind of feel this is a little bit animated in the sense that it should work. And then if we do add the rods, like if I could find these type of rods but actually a little bit thinner, which I think they do have, we can actually add the rod going here. And then for her booty, same thing, just put a little rod there, you know. And then we're gonna keep the gloves as is, but we'll sand them down and make them shiny, you know. So that'll work. Now, as far as the piping goes, like this is a little bit more detailed, but if you look at how it's got those the piping and stuff like that on her, this is a little bit more detailed, but this will be a little bit more animated. But it'll be sort of like, that's kind of like the idea. It's just kind of roll up some A's and just kind of add these pipings going down, but keep this form. Of course, usually when you would add a corset to a female, you wouldn't see like these perfect, you know, stuff, but since it's kind of more of that animation, it'll work better for her, you know. So that's kind of the idea, what we're going for. Alright, so I think that's a good point, good starting point, you know, how that's gonna work. Still a little soft, getting there. Alright, so with that being said, we'll plan out Star Trek, and then I got a little bit more of an idea where I'm going with all this stuff. Okay, for Star Trek, alright, so we have the chest, where we're planning on with the chest, right? We pretty much have, we're going to put like a nice big black like thing going around here. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of seam out the area here for her chest, because if you look at hers, it's kind of like flat going across. We'll add a little bit of wrinklage here, get the sleeves on. So how do we want to do the skirt on this one, and how do we want to do the underwear on her? I'm guessing it's going to be a short skirt, but should it be tight, or should we do this one loose? How do you think, like, do we do this one loose like I did with the Jean Grey? Or do we do this one tight, like a tight outfit? I don't know, what are you guys thinking about this one? Because the reason I'm asking is, she doesn't wear stockings, right? I'm not seeing stockings on her legs. Did I close down the pictures? No, I didn't. So where the hell is that picture? I gotta look up some of those images Raz sent, but I'm I keep forgetting. But, so you're thinking loose, but do we give her, is she gonna have a thong then? Why can't I find the picture? I lost it. Well, this is Jessica, so we don't have to do stockings on this one. Or do you guys think we should do stockings? I want to look up some cosplay Star Trek outfits. Maybe get a little bit of an idea. Let's see, Star Trek, O'Hara, cosplay. Why are you not? Some cosplay doesn't have stockings, some does have stockings. I don't know, what are you guys thinking? Yeah, she does have stockings in the show. Or pantyhose, or whatever you want to call them, but a lot of the cosplay is a looser skirt. It's not really tight. Well, I don't know. Just kind of brainstorming. What do you think we should do with it? Whether you guys think stockings should be more accurate, or do we think we should do our own take on it? You know. Let me see if there's a Jessica Rabbit Star Trek. Sometimes people have drawings of her that might work. Star Wars, no Star Trek, Jessica Rabbit. Yeah, I'm just trying to see what we do. I got a sort of an idea, but alright, nothing there. Let me look here real quick. Just bear with me. Just trying to. Sadly, I would love to screen share my searches, but the stuff that pops up on screen, YouTube would be like, nope, we're not allowing that. So. No, I googled, trust me, I googled, DuckDuckGo, I'm on DeviantArt. Not really seeing any Star Trek, like Jessica Rabbit, tons of Star Wars stuff, but then again, you start clicking on images and then, we're into the corn, territory. And, you know, we don't want to do that. Alright, so I guess we'll kind of play it by ear. So I don't think we need to do stockings. But what I think we need to do is figure out what we do with the skirt on her. So... I'm trying to think here. Alright, let me try Google then. So what did you search, Hangerbird? Oh, okay, I see what you got. I found it. I see it. Yeah. It's the purple pin. I found it. Well, I'm trying to think. I think with this one, if we were to do the skirt loose, I don't know, do we stick with the thong or we don't stick with the thong? I don't know, this one, I don't want to, I'm not really sure if I want to make it too, so if we were to put the skirt on her, right? It's kind of hard without her whole body together. Screw up the boots, but it's, well, I'm thinking not a thong, but give her more regular underwear, but make the skirt kind of flow more, you know? Kind of like more of that go-go style, where it's not like, you know, we could kind of play with it a bit and make it flow. So I'm thinking more of that than trying to go with a thong. So I'm thinking not this type of underwear, but a little bit different, because I have to redo it. This anatomy's kind of wonky. So what I would think is more of a, once we redo the booty on her, I think we should give her more of a, you know, just regular underwear type look, you know? Sort of like where that's at. In the front, we can give her a little bit more of a risque thong type thing, but make it more like presentable, I guess. Yeah, so I'm thinking more simple, and then when we add the skirt, we can have a little bit more of a flow, you know, a little bit more of a wind. Because when I looked at all these images, and when you guys recommended like that 70s like go-go, or is it 60s or whatever it is, the skirts weren't tight, they were loose, and even O'Hara's skirt's loose. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. And then what I'm thinking of doing too is, if we look at her skirt, lock this image. So she has that little bit of like a line around the waist. So what we could do is we can make a, we can put the skirt to like here. Because it's a little bit higher, right? Or do we want to put, no, I kind of like this, kind of like it up here. Yeah, I'm thinking 2 pieces, but it's still not 2 pieces. It's still a 1 piece with Jessica here. But I'm thinking... what I can do is... So what I'm thinking is, I add a piping here, you know, just kind of add like a little bit of Aves line going across. This will be all seamed up, and then there's a little bit of a seam here, right? But this could kind of flow from here, from like this part here, sort of kind of flows around her type thing. What I'm thinking is, we'll take the eaves, we'll make a block about this big of eaves, we'll roll it out, let it harden up, and then what I'll do is I'll put the eaves piece here, we'll wrap it around, coming around, and then we'll flap it, but it'll be a seam, but it'll look like a little bit of a flap. Kind of like mixing both of them in a sense. But do you think we should put the seam up higher and add wrinkles? Maybe the seam should be more here. So what do you guys think? The seam here or the seam here? Because if we put the seam up higher, I can add some wrinkles over in here a little bit. Hey, what's up, AA Dragon? How's it going? Because if we look at her shirt, their seam is, you could tell, right about... I kind of screwed that up. Oh well. That's right. That's kind of where the seam's going to go anyway. Yeah, because her skirt is actually really just flirting with right here at the crotch. So if we put this seam up here, because what I could do is I can roll out eaves from here, like right about here, right, to right about the hip. And we can wrap the eaves around, and then I can blend in the line, and then I can add a little bit of wrinklage around there. So this way we have a seam here, but this seam comes down onto here like that. That's just some wind. But I think that would work, right? So I'm just trying to see how much like eaves I would need to roll out and work it, and then blend it together. Because the way this would work is I would have to do her top half first, and then the skirt later, and then the hair at the end. Because if I did the skirt first, and then I try to do that, I risk breaking it all. I don't want to break it, so. And then what'll happen is we'll kind of when we do the chest, we'll kind of bring it up a little bit instead of straight across to give it that animated look. And then when we fill this in, it should work a little bit better. So the way this would work is we would have the chest going like so. And then we have the black piping type thing kind of come around sort of like this, you know. So the chest would be something like that. That way it's kind of more Jessica, you know. Of course we'll add a little bit of stretch marks there, like that. I mean, you get the general idea. This would probably have to be kind of more in that. You know, it could kind of like flow up a bit. And we could kind of flow it. I think that's a good start. So the only issue is her arms and then the skirt. That's the problem. Arms and the skirt. This arm will be twisted a bit for the carrot taser, the cav, or was it not a phaser? What a phase it? Phase, I don't know. Carrot? Or just a carrot. But this arm, if we add it to I think I could get the arm attached, create a sleeve, and do it in a way where I can paint the hand and then glue it in at the end. I think that's probably the best way to do it. I mean, in an ideal world, we would have the seam up here, and then the arm would just be attached there, but I don't want to cut this arm. The shoulder, I mean. It'll be way too much work. I could do it, but it'll just cause a nightmare. Because then I also have to do the hair too. So I think the best way to do this is attach the arm, saw it off somewhere, and then get it design a way where I can kind of just like click it in and glue it. You know. Because the hand should really definitely be on the hip. Because if one hand's not on the hip with the phaser, you know, it'll look good. Type thing. What I'm thinking of doing is sort of tweaking the arm a little bit to kind of come away from the hip, just a little bit here, and then tweak the hand or get a different hand printed and put a carrot on it. I think that would look good. So I think that is the plan. So I think we got a good plan going. So I think by next week, we might start trying to see if I could get some stuff sanded down. Maybe start working on keying the arms, attaching some things, planning on where to cut it. Try to get them on the bases. And once we kind of start getting all that stuff together, we can start detailing up. Still got a way to go. The prep work is always a pain in the ass. But at least we got the ideas down for them. So that's good. That is good. Alright, so before I close up shop, since we pretty much got a nice good feedback on these, I just want to show you what I found for the Invisible Woman. And let me know what you guys think of this idea, if I have to keep searching, because I kind of been working on other stuff and I haven't really worked on Invisible Woman much. But so I mean, the figure is pretty much more or less done. It's the base I have to work on. So I found this. I found this piece of plastic thing on eBay, and the idea is I don't want to do a huge bubble coming up because I haven't really found anything. But I'm thinking, what if it's a smaller bubble? You know, like just like if I was to cut this from here and then kind of do like a little bit of a curve, and just have it like at the bottom underneath of her, like that high. I just kind of want some feedback. What do you guys think of that? I would love to have a bigger bubble coming up, but the problem is if I do, I can't imagine like how wide it would be if I found something wide. And the problem is I went to a pet store and they didn't have anything like remotely close to something like this, and everything I saw on eBay was this small. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. If I was to cut like just here and just have it at the bottom, like she's starting to come up more. Yeah, the idea is, you know, she would have like a bubble coming up around her for like that invisible force field, but the problem is like I haven't seen anything big enough that would work. And that's my problem. And the problem is I did see something that would work, but it was glass, and I'm not chopping up glass, and that's not gonna work. It's got to be some cheap plastic like this, you know. This is like soft plastic that'll work. And this was only like $6 or whatever, so that's kind of what I came up with for the idea. They have a clear ping pong. They do. Scott, somebody could do a clear resin, but I don't wanna overspend on this. This is just one of those side projects. This is like, you know, I don't even know if it's gonna sell. You know, that's the other problem. Some of these side projects I have are old, and the way things are going these days, it's kind of risky to do them now these days. I'm just talking from a standpoint of, you know, for a business. Commissions and some side projects are good, but I don't want to overdo these items. Outdoor lights, I'll have to check on some of those. I haven't really seen anything that, you know, I don't want something that's like wide. I don't want something that comes all the way out, you know. But adding powers to her hands, that's not a bad idea. I'll have to kind of look into that a little bit more. Maybe there's something where I can put something around her hands a bit. You know what it is? It's this pose of this character that's the problem. It's not sculpting the character itself. It's the pose. It's a very like floating, flying type pose, and that's the problem. I'll check that out. I'll look into that. Thanks once. I'll see if there's anything out there. Yeah, I'm just kind of stumped on the base. Because my idea was I was going to cut this and put some rubble and ground around it and make it look like she's sort of like starting to power up, or maybe a street. You know, like maybe she's in the street type thing and the street's kind of broken and she's starting to power up. That's kind of the idea I was doing with this. But it's hard. It's becoming harder to find stuff these days because everything is just ordering online. Like going to stores, there's just nothing like little knickknacks in stores anymore. I went to the Dollar General, I didn't see anything. I went to Walmart, there was nothing there. I went to Home Depot, but I didn't think of checking the lights, so I'll check the lights at Home Depot. Because I looked at Tupperware, I looked at you know, home goods type of areas, nothing. I'm pretty sure if I was able to go to a Hobby Lobby, there might be something, but the closest Hobby Lobby to me is like 45 minutes away. So that's a, you know, I always have to see something in person. Yeah, I was at Home Depot yesterday, and they were actually putting out all the Halloween stuff. So maybe there's something there too. I'll have to look at Halloween, see if there's anything out there. But adding the stuff to her hands is not a bad idea too. I'll have to look into that. Just a tricky character for this type of pose. I mean, I'm happy with it so far. Just kind of. Yeah, Xmas stuff is starting to come out too already too. So, I know there's something there. There's something out there that's perfect for this. It's just I gotta find it. Just gotta find where it's at. But like I said, the Jean Grey is pretty much done. I'm gonna have to film that and get that up next week. I don't want to touch it right now. I got too much stuff on my hands. But she's finished. Well, I got to touch up on Monday, but she's pretty much done, and I can figure out what to do with her. Party cities, they're all gone here. There's none around here. They all closed down. Even up north where I grew up, where my parents used to live, there was like 5 party cities there. They're all gone. I haven't checked the Target. It's possible Target might have something in like the home good area. I don't know. Maybe Target in their pet section, because I went in the Walmart. The 2 Walmarts by me, they didn't have anything. I don't know. I'll have to keep searching. Till then, I'll figure it out. But if worst case scenario, I just use this at the bottom and then do something with her hands. Yeah, for Rodger, he's gonna be in a black and white stripe. Oh, here goes the bowl. Yeah, for Rodger, we have, we're going to do black and white stripes. And then one gun I'm going to tweak to hold the gun. Raz printed out a gun. And then the other hand, we'll probably put like a money bag. I'll sculpt a money bag or something. I did that too, Scott, but the only problem is some of the ones I found didn't work out. If you find something, use my contact page on my site, or if you have my email, hit me up and send me a link. I just don't want to keep buying stuff up, you know, I don't want to keep buying all this random crap. But yeah, Rodger's gonna be like a criminal outfit, you know. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe we could do like a black bow tie, white straps, and then we could do a black stripe, a white stripe, a black stripe, a white stripe, and go down the line. So he'll be like a criminal, but he'll still be in his outfit. What I'm thinking of doing too is his eyes are looking down here. I'm thinking of sanding off those eyes, but actually put the eyes up over here, because Jessica's going to be behind him. So this way maybe it's like he's like, oh crap, she's behind me, you know? So we're going to sand down the eyes and put eyes up there. I just got to figure out how to get the gun in this hand. Or if I use this hand. Probably gonna have to use this one and resculpt the. Yeah, we'll resculpt it and we'll have his hand like that. I gotta break this piece. This thing is gonna snap off anyway. I'm gonna break it and glue it in further. So the gun came out good though. So that's the plan for Rodger. Alright, that's what I'm gonna call the stream, but we pretty much got a good plan going. No, Scott. Only one Rodger for this batch. It's a little too much to add Rodgers to everything. So, Star Trek and None get their own bases, but the Cop is the one that gets the Rodger. But that's not to say of, well, when they're done and I sell them off, whoever gets them, they can't add their own Rodger to it, you know. But yeah, so that's where I'm calling it. Gotta call in the night, need a little bit of a break, but we got a good start. I'm gonna try to get as much as I can for next week ready, but we'll see how far I can get. But you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and see what we can keep plugging away on this stuff.